Thank you for joining me for lesson 197 and 198 of Sefer HaMitzvos daily study. We're in the midst of learning about the laws of corpse impurity or impurity from coming into contact with death. And uh, we're spending over a week going through it. So I'm tasked as the instructor of these lessons to find something new every day. And there are a lot of laws in Mishnah Torah. And so there's a lot to choose from on these topics. Um, the the corpse impurity begins when someone has passed away. The Torah defines when someone has passed away as that they have they're no longer breathing and their heart is no longer beating. And so that's officially when these laws take place. Although, of course, with today's medical advances, if and techniques that have been found, we should still be trying to save that person's life in that point. But that is at the point at which a person be declared halakhically dead, even though there's still a possibility of resuscitation. The so that's the point at which you have to worry about corpse impurity. And I mentioned how corpse impurity, like other types of impurity, can be obtained, can be passed on through touching and through carrying. And so the other impurities work that same way. But corpse impurity has this additional method of transference that other types of impurity do not have, and that is ohel. So if you have some sort of a covering over, like a roof, a tent, um, multiple different things that anything that comes over is going to be ohel, an ohel that the corpse impurity comes up, hits the ohel, and then everything under the covering is it also receives corpse impurity. And so that has implications for everyone had the temple been standing. But nowadays, the people who particularly need to be careful of, on a biblical level, of corpse impurity are Kohanim. There are other people who are careful about not coming into contact with corpse impurity during certain times, like for instance, a woman who is pregnant will avoid during those months, but that's not a biblical obligation. A biblical obligation would be a Cohen, a priest, has to avoid corpse impurity at all times, unless it is a close family member, and then they're able to my understanding, they're able to um, participate in certain times of going to visit a grave, for instance, of that close relative. Like for instance, I believe they can go there on the yearly anniversary of that person's passing. Um, Now, a Cohen is in going to a cemetery, they are not going to be able to come into contact with the corpse impurity of others in that cemetery, because the Torah says that they should not. It's a different, separate mitzvah, but that they should not come into contact with the corpse impurity of anyone but a close relative. So the Jewish cemeteries will put the graves of Kohanim at the edge of the cemetery, so that the Kohen doesn't have to go into the cemetery to get it. I believe there are other ways that you can also um, help facilitate someone from receiving corpse impurity, like, for instance, having a wall that's a certain height around the grave can also allow a Kohen to come closer. So they're going to be put along the edges, and in that way they are able to encounter the grave of their loved one. But one thing that they have to be careful of, and I'm sure this is something that I don't have any personal experience or haven't read that they do this, but I'm sure that a well maintained Jewish cemetery is going to make sure that there are not trees over top of areas where a Cohen would have to go in order to visit the grave of their loved one, because a tree is causes that same roofing situation. So the corpse impurity comes up and then is sent back down and anything underneath the tree then encounters corpse impurity. And so that's something that a Cohen would have to be very careful of. If it was only perhaps their relative that was under that tree, and that tree was not over top of anyone else's grave, then that might not be an issue. But more likely is that there would be another Cohen's grave here that they are not closely related to, and that would create an issue for both them and that other person's relatives from visiting their graves. So that is an issue, and we've talked about. I believe yesterday I mentioned that a Cohen can't go into to your average um, hospital because they are going to be encountering corpse impurity there as well, because people regularly pass away there. So those are some additional details, adding to what we've already talked about, building on it little by little. And with God's help, I'll have some new things to say about this tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day in every way. Bye bye.